So there's licenses for everything else. You have to have a license to drive, you have to have a license to practice, to be a doctor, you have to have a license to even sell liquor. So why shouldn't there be a license to parent? Next. When you think of parents, one gets an image of people who've been together for years. People who always know what to do and say, who always provide support, people who are happy and well-educated and who would drop everything at a second's notice to be at their side for their children, right? Now, think of your own parents. What are some words that you would use to describe them? I want to know, so talk to me. Caring, supportive. Yeah? Well, have you ever put your parents in a situation where they didn't know what to do? Or them not giving you support in one of your endeavors, like even coming out here? Do they even have college degrees? If your parents, or if not your parents, then your friend's parents, or anyone's parents for that matter. A lot of parents aren't necessarily quality. They screw up. It's something that happens in life. Parents have their downfalls. They aren't perfect, and they don't always do the right thing or know how to do the right thing. But does this mean that they shouldn't be parents? There is a large group of people in the U.S. and around the world who believe that it should be a requirement to have a license before you're allowed to have a child. Basically, you'd be put in a class like you do for driving, and at the end of the class take a test so you could be qualified as a good parent. And many chat rooms on the internet are actually devoted to this subject, and one of the main reasons I can see why people want the licenses is to reduce overpopulation, and because of this. Plain stupidity from parents. There's child abuse, child neglect, parents teaching hate to their kids, just not cool things. Who would want to have this in the world? Especially when you think you would be able to control it. But really, are there reasons valid for wanting to have a parenting license? Think about it. People with driver's licenses still screw up. They still speed. They still drunk drive. They don't even care for their cars properly and are getting pulled over all the time. Doctors with licenses still perform surgeries they shouldn't, mishandle patients all the time, and don't listen completely to solve the problems of their patients. Hunters don't always follow the rules and regulations. Doctors don't always follow the rules, hunters don't always follow the rules and regulations of their licenses, and gun owners don't always follow the rules and regulations. That's why there's so many accidents out there. So would having parents be required to have a license be an insurance policy to not treating kids badly? I don't think so. Having to have a license before you're able to parent a child would kind of be an infringement upon your reproductive rights. How would the government be able to control it? Would they be knocking on your door as soon as a girl reaches puberty, forcing her to take birth control until she's taken this class and been ready? Would you really want the government to control your right to have a baby? Would teens be allowed to get licenses? That's kind of an issue. You think about teen pregnancy and you don't think about the best of parents, but there's a large number of people out there who were parents in their teens and they've raised great kids. I think it would punish people and make it harder for them to take, I think, if there was a license and they were to punish people for having kids without having their license, the punishment would make it harder for that person to care for their child. And how would you know if the person was going to be a good parent or not? Some people that you think would be the best of parents turn out to be the worst of parents. Some people you think to be the worst of parents have actually been the best. Just look to the media. It would show a greater class difference if there was a class or a license that someone had to get before they could get kids, lower class people would be less likely to get it because they wouldn't have the time to go and get the license, or they wouldn't have the money to pay for it. But that doesn't mean that they wouldn't be good parents. An upper class would be more likely to have the license because they'd be able to have the time to go out to those classes and do all that thing. It would make parenthood very exclusive. It would make it harder for gays and lesbians to have children. Would they be forced to go to classes too? And also donors. If you're a sperm donor and an egg donor, would you be forced to go to the classes? Because there's a chance that the person could back out last minute and you would have to take care of that child still. It's just one way of the government taking away another one of our rights to be equal. That's how I see it. Some people who dream all their lives wouldn't even be allowed to parent because they would be deemed unfit or not allowed to parent. And it would be a lot harder for them to fulfill their dream. One of my main dreams in life is to have kids, and if I were to have to go get a license and they would tell me that I wasn't fit to be a mother, I would be devastated, and I think I would still go out and do it. It wouldn't stop me. One blog that I read even suggested that an underground birthing centers would open, and it would be like taking giant steps back in human rights. So basically, what should we do instead? You could do parenting classes and support groups. Those would help a lot. That would allow parents to know what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong. There should be free parenting help so that they can know what the proper steps are to taking care of a child. Proper education in school is a big key. A lot of schools teach abstinence-only programs, and that only increases the amount of kids that are had to unfit parents. But if we taught them properly at an early age, then they would know the steps to do to not have that kid at such a young age, or how to take care of that kid. I believe it is our duties as a nurse to kind of go out into the community and teach these things, not necessarily get up in the faces of everyone, but maybe go out to a class in your spare time and teach them about the different kinds of contraceptive methods, because that's a big key in having a baby at the right time. And also, it would just help out your community a lot. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that if there was a license for parenting, it would be an infringement on our rights. There would be too much government control. There would be no way to actually control when a person could and could not have a baby. And the only way to avoid needing that is to teach kids properly at the right age how to be good parents. And there should not now or ever be a law enforcing licensing for parents. Because really, when is the right time to have a kid? There's no time. Just do it.